I like the black jerseys.
Who's fucking in the hallway?
She's crying.
I'm about to leave.
Bye.
I'm about to leave.
Come over here. She gonna cry in the car. Don't act like you ain't in the hallway now, bitch. She's trying to be extra quiet now. Fuck him, he ain't shit.
She should have just left.
Huh?
She should have just left.
She should have just left.
Yeah.
Apparently I don't know if she heard me clearly, but she clearly heard something. She stopped talking.
Quick. She should have just left. I mean, that's...
You should have just left.
That relationship sounds over. As of July 2nd.
Mine too, as of a year ago. Hey!
Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight. You can follow SoundCloud, YouTube. A lot to talk about this week. Dwight World Cup, some MLB. But part of the reason that we do this show is because we are both just kids at heart that absolutely love our teams.
Mm-hmm.
The Los Angeles Lakers won the sweepstakes for the prettiest girl in town.
He is a bitch, so that makes sense.
One of my favorite athletes of all time, LeBron James. I love it. I love it. It's just...
Just had to let him know. I was already Lakered out before this whole situation went down. Just saying. Just had to throw that out there.
Well, clearly.
I didn't even tell you, bro. Speaking of, like, we got flags and shit. I got a Cowboys flag that you occasionally see on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Actually, I just got Lakers one. Same size.
That's very exciting. I'm sure that will be up at some point.
In fairness, I've been looking... Oh, it's going to be up. I will have it tomorrow, actually. In fairness, I've been looking for a decent Lakers flag for 3 years. Since I've been living at this current residence.
Yeah.
But finally found one conveniently last night, and I was like, alright, word. And it was relatively...
I'm sure they were everywhere over the last couple of days, so that makes sense.
It was reasonably priced. I was like, word, bite. But other than that, I'm already Lakered out. Just want everybody to remember and realize that before we continue. Because the bandwagon's about to be real.
I have a second Lakers jersey that I would like to buy now. I always wanted to get Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Can't decide which number with Kobe. Probably
24.
Probably 24, yeah.
24.
Probably because he beat me in the 8. So I think I have to do the 24.
Yeah, I hear you.
But now I have a second. And look, not that I wouldn't wear a Kareem, or not that I wouldn't wear a Magic, or not that I even wouldn't wear a Wilt.
Right.
Because I do love Wilt. But, I mean, LeBron, as you know, as everyone is one of my favorite athletes. So now I have 2 Lakers jerseys on the list to get one day.
So you can wear my jersey because I'm not getting a LeBron jersey.
You were not getting a LeBron jersey, and I wasn't even questioning that. I never once thought. So we're going to get into everything that happened free agency wise, but let's just, because this is JD Sports, one of the last probably named JD Sports, same host going forward.
Yep.
How does Dwight feel? Like, Dwight, the person who does not like LeBron much, but
I hate it, right?
You're not Skip Bayless, but yeah, absolutely. You're there's very few times that you were unreasonable about it, but there's most of the time your criticism isn't super unwarranted, and I can understand the side that you're coming from. There's also just a side of it where I can see the greatness, and you've almost conceded to understanding. You haven't. You had it's. It used to be he's this, and this. Now after
he's
that,
still kind of this.
I understand, but after the 3-1 thing, you admitted this. That was so impressive that in and of itself, you had to take the foot off the throttle a little bit. And understanding of, all right, I mean, he's in that place. Maybe he's not exactly where everyone else says, but in your mind, you understand that.
That was the year that he lost Kyrie and Kevin Love in the finals? Or before the finals?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm with you.
And I remember we sat on the show, and you were just,
You
were impressed enough. And that's all, we just found common ground for the first ever time on LeBron on that show, and it was cool, and it was exciting, and ever since then, the understanding has been both ways, because I absolutely understand what the criticism, and I always will understand the criticism. My cousin does not like...
Some of it's still kind of justifiable.
And I'm not, and I will not disagree with that. And look, there's things that I can ignore, not just as a fan, just as a fan of athletes in general, not just him. There's things that I ignore in general. Across most of my athletes. And so back to asking you, because I've never found myself in a position where my favorite team signed, like when the Eagles signed Mike Vick, I think this is the closest thing to it, but I wasn't even against them signing Mike Vick. I'm a second chance person. He spent the most time in jail ever for what he did. I knew that going into the contract. I said, you know what, as long as he can stay a model citizen, which he ended up exceeding all those expectations in Philadelphia, and he was a great football player as well, then I was all aboard. So this isn't even the same thing, but...
Not even close.
Right, so I can't put myself in your shoes of being like, man, I really dislike this. I guess this would be Sidney Crosby coming to the Flyers, but it's not the same exact thing.
No. Yeah, that's literally the closest thing.
But that's the closest thing I think I can equate it to. And
sure.
So that would be the most mixed feelings, because I understand how good Sidney Crosby is, but man...
Thing I remember, I'm also a Kobe fan, which was the whole other level.
Right. That's what took this thing. That absolutely is 110% the genesis. It is in and of itself its own rivalry, at least on Twitter, and that in and of itself is enough to make it justifiable, because it's talked about 24/7.
Right. So your question,
Dwight, how do you personally feel being the big Lakers fan you are? Because I understand that you are team guy. You are team, let that Lakers emblem comes before the name on the back of the jersey, no matter who it is, including LeBron James. And I knew that going into this process, even though...
And I've even said before, I think, maybe not on the show, I'm pretty sure I have, but yeah, actually I have. We talked about our favorite sports, and I've always said I love the NFL and I love football, but I always gave the nod and the advantage to the NBA.
That's my college football.
As much as I love the Cowboys.
That's my college football.
Sure. Yeah. As much as I love the Cowboys, I always gave a little nod more to the Lakers. Yeah. So, right, it is a bigger deal to me.
And in LA, the Lakers are the biggest thing. They're, USC football and the Los Angeles Lakers are the two things that anybody cares about sports-wise out there without question. It's the Lakers.
So not the Clippers? I just want to clarify. It's not the Clippers?
Well,
it's not
I'm
the Rams.
Sure somewhere on the back page of the LA Times today, Austin Rivers getting traded made it, but it probably was very, very deep into that paper.
About that, actually. Right. I got you. But to your point,
how do you feel?
LA is...
Oh, yeah, they are 110%. Lakers are...
The whole Laker Nation thing isn't a...
No.
It's not a joke.
Look, there was over 2,000 people outside the Staples Center yesterday, and about 50 of them were putting baby powder on their hands and throwing it in the air.
I get it, but...
It was funny.
How many of those... Okay, let's be real. I'm going to call out my own fan base. Oh. How much of those are frauds, and how much of them were like, F LeBron?
Absolutely.
I'm just saying in general.
No. It's funny to see Twitter and because same people look. So
I saw the clip of them throwing it outside of Staples Center with
those five guys. They were funny, but
they were chanting LBJ, and I was like, how many of y'all were about that about a week ago? But whatever.
So answer it, because I do have more to add after you answer what I asked.
How do I feel about LeBron coming to LA?
Yeah, being the Lakers fan you are, and the non-LeBron fan you are.
Well, I mean, that's an extremely low question, and I'm sure we're going to get into more of...
what the process leads from here.
Sure, and even leading up to it, but I'll say this much. And we're going to get into the whole we're going to get into it. We were completely wrong, you and I, especially me. with LeBron coming out west, coming to the Lakers. We were completely wrong about all of that.
Neither of us saw it happening.
1,000%. We were 1,000% wrong about that. And I said, and I've said historically on this show that I don't see him coming out west. I don't see him becoming a Laker at all. But here we are, and this is a situation. But I lean on a situation, you brought it up, that I am more so about the success of my team. And I'm going to lean on what I've said previously, including what I've been saying since the show started, even before. It's the Dwight Howard effect with me. I did not want Dwight Howard. Mm-hmm. I did not think we needed Dwight Howard.
Right.
But we got him, and I was like, okay, I'm still going to support and root for the Lakers, obviously, because I'm a fan of the team. It's not about, like you said, the name on the back of the jerseys. I'm obviously rooting for the name on the front of the jersey, which is Lakers. And it's the same thing. My immediate reaction with LeBron, at first, my immediate instinct reaction, I laughed, honestly. I was like, really? It was just funny to me. My second reaction was, are we going to get Kawhi? Which we'll get into that situation on its own.
We'll definitely talk
about it. I had two instant reactions, and those were the two. But honestly, since there's been, as of this recording, it's been 24 hours, it's good to see the Lakers back in a positive limelight. Mm-hmm. Which is where they belong, honestly. It's good for the NBA, and we've talked about that before.
Most eyes on the Lakers. More eyes on the Lakers, the better it is. Yeah,
because they're literally...
We've addressed this.
Yeah, and we've addressed that they are the Yankees. They are the Cowboys,
they're the Cowboys
of the NBA.
Another name. They're the Man United. They are,
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're the Yankees. Yeah. Like, you expect them to be great, and when they're great, the league just benefits from that.
Yes, absolutely.
As a fan of the Lakers, it's good. I'll say that much. Because it puts them back in the limelight. It puts them in a situation where we can add better, younger pieces moving forward in the years to come. For me personally, as the LeBron hater,
yeah, that's more where I'm at on that.
Like I don't know. I don't necessarily look at it as yes, I'm so excited, I'm so happy and hyped that we got LeBron, because I'm not that person that supports
you don't like
him.
LeBron.
But as a Lakers fan, I'm like, okay, cool, because now that puts us in a better position to build forward, and to potentially be greater in the years to come. It puts us in a better position, which is what I care about. So I'll put it that way. I will let my petty, I'm a quote hater of LeBron shit aside, because I support the organization more than anything.
I do think that, and I know for a fact, I don't even have to say I think that, I know for a fact that if the Lakers won a championship and LeBron James was the leader of that championship and he was the MVP of the league and the MVP of the finals, Dwight would not be angry. You know, like, that's not going to make you sad.
I'd be happy that the Lakers got a championship.
Exactly. You'd be like, LeBron, but you'd be like, wow, this is awesome. You know, where we got add another one. And I understand that 110%. Right. Even though I can't put myself in your shoes, but
I don't necessarily want him to get another one with the Lakers, but at the same time, because it's my team and it's my organization.
If it's the Lakers, you're not going to be mad.
No, and
that's the best case scenario. If LeBron was a championship, right, for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would be the same situation with Dwight Howard when we had him and Kobe and Steve Nash.
I didn't have to really hear that from you, but I felt like as a show we had to get that out of the way, because
1,000%. That's huge. I'm the hater, right? I am the hater.
This is part of the genesis of the show. On top of the Sixers conversation that happened, we already knew that you didn't like LeBron and I do like LeBron. We already knew that you were a Cowboys fan and I was an Eagles fan. So like the whole show has always been based off of things like that, and so like obviously I knew that we had to knock that out of the park right away.
1,000%.
Which I knew. As I said, I already knew your answer.
Sure. And not even to get it twisted.
That's just me knowing Dwight that well.
Sure. But not even to get it twisted, and don't get me wrong. Now that he is a Laker, though, you think people think I'm a hater, or I hate on him, or I dislike him.
You're not going to let up.
Before. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
You're going to see everything. You're going to watch him as much as I watch him.
And critique him even more than I already do.
Because it's going to bother you more because you're going to be watching him. You're going to watch him as much as I watch him, and you don't watch him all that often unless it's really in the finals.
In the bigger picture, you're now impacting my team.
Yeah,
which to the overall part is what I support and back, even if I don't dislike an individual player, which we're going to get into. I basically dislike half the damn team at this point. But I support that team. So now you as the King James, you're now impacting my team. So even I was talking to your girl Ashley earlier.
Yeah.
When it's the first quarter in November and he's missing a free throw, I'm gonna lose my damn mind now. It's not like it's gonna be even worse now because now you're impacting the team, which what I support. So now, if anybody thought I was gonna be any more lenient on LeBron James, you're sadly mistaken. I'm actually gonna be worse now because now he's impacting something that I root for. So if anything, if you think I'm right or wrong, it's only going to get worse in that regard.
Speaking of my girlfriend, I think that she was a little shocked when we were sitting there and I was like, oh, I think LeBron just signed the Lakers, and she was like,
did you laugh? Like I laughed?
No, I was just like, oh, this is pretty cool, and so like I started reading the article, and I think she was just a little shocked that I was like not like freaking out, but I was like, no, this is actually pretty neat. Like I'm glad. I mean, look, obviously I wanted him to come to the Sixers, no doubt, as a LeBron and a Sixers fan, but.
Sure.
We'll get into the future of LeBron and the reason I'm happy that he's okay. I'm happy that he went there as well. On top, okay, so you said something about how neither of us saw him going to the Lakers.
No.
As it got closer, because the further it was away, I remember in the beginning of the year, I was like, I guess I could maybe see him going to LA. And then as the year went along, the closer it got, it just didn't feel realistic at all. And I'll be honest with you, until he puts that jersey on, until he's walking around in the Lakers uniform, it's gonna look like a video game for the first couple months, just like it did in Miami. I'm not gonna lie, it felt that way for me in Miami. It was a little more realistic, but I don't find this to be realistic. Even I still can't really picture him in the Lakers uniform, and no matter how many photoshopped realistic pictures they give me, it's just
right there what
you know what I'm saying.
I've seen all of them in every color,
and
I'm
it just
like, that
it still doesn't fit at the moment. I think it will. I think it's going to stick just like it always has.
He's going to be there for 4 years. We're going to get used to it.
But this is, but as I said, as it got closer, it really didn't feel like it was a realistic option. More because of leaving the East than anything. Not because the Lakers, because I feel like if he was ever going to pick a team in the West, there was no doubt it was going to be the Lakers. I don't think that was across anybody's mind. Anyways.
Yeah, we definitely, that's number one on my list, actually, of things that we got wrong with LeBron James and going
we just didn't think he was going west.
No.
Neither of us. No. We both just thought, right? Neither of us said the Rockets.
And nobody ever thought that.
Neither of us said Golden State.
World, it never made sense for him to go out
We
west.
literally were saying Philadelphia. We threw Boston kind of in there, Miami kind of in there. But Cleveland, Philadelphia, the Lakers were the three teams that we really honed in on. But we said about the Lakers that we both were like, nah.
I said there was no chance.
And I said, I just didn't. Yeah, I said, no, I just don't see. I said there was no chance he was leaving the East. I really didn't see it happening.
I said there was zero chance of him being a Laker. And even still,
I just didn't see him leaving the East.
I mean, and at this point, with his age and everything, which is the big thing that I've been getting at, and that was my thing. This is why I said the Lakers should even pursue him. I said Magic should even bother with that because, and we're going to dive into his contract and the overall look at that team moving forward. But to me, it just didn't make any sense for the Lakers to even pursue his ass. And here he is. He signs a 4-year deal, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm never here, and here.
I was never against. I'm never against signing LeBron. I was never thinking it didn't make sense for the Lakers on the Lakers standpoint. I thought it just didn't make sense from LeBron's standpoint. I'll be honest with you. The instant I saw it, I was like, okay, this is good for the Lakers, and I immediately thought of the future of LeBron. But
puts them back on the map.
But my first initial thought on this particular year is, he must not really care about this consecutive final streak because as much as I thought he did, and I thought it was, that's why I was banging on him saying these, because I just assumed that was the most important thing. The overall picture for him, clearly, I think it doesn't even have to be said, is if he goes down as one of the top 5 Lakers of all time, he's already cemented himself as bringing a championship, bringing them from as bad as they were to a championship within 2 or 3 years is a big deal. I'm not saying that cements him as a top 5 Laker all the time, but I'm just saying, say he puts his name in the Raptors as a Laker. He has won 3 championships with 3 different franchises, which he would be he's won 3 different championships with 3 different franchises, which he would be the first NBA player to do that. Things like that where he's already trying to cement his legacy. Do you know what I'm saying? The Lakers only help that. So I understood it from that point of view, but I just did not see him leaving the East on the point of view of consecutive finals runs. I thought meant maybe a little more than that. But I see this direction as well. You're going to have to get a Kawhi. You're going to have to get
look, outside the basketball situation, which we're going to get into, to me, him going to the Lakers and him going out west, those two things, it clearly speaks volumes about where he's at mentally. He's clearly about his people. He's about his family. He's about his business. He's about this, that, and the third. I think he still obviously wants to compete and wants to contend for championships. I won't say that he doesn't.
I agree.
But I think it's when you go to the Lakers in this stage, that clearly kind of takes a backseat
where they
to
were
the rest
last year with the people that they are clearly signing right now. I look at it this way.
Yeah, we'll get into that too.
Rich Paul is his agent, and I think this is. I've never really agreed with a lot of Rich Paul's moves. I think this is a Rich Paul grand scheme of, hey, look, this is how you can become one of the greatest players of all time. You might be the greatest player of all time if you win a championship with the Lakers, and you were the first ever one to win one with Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his pitch to him of why he should go to LA. And we could work on many more business deals and business endeavors. And look, you could be the next Showtime Lakers. I'm saying that's his agent pitching that to him because honestly, Rich Paul has always been that fight. Rich Paul's the reason they went to Miami and didn't try to make this work in a different city when it was Wade, him, and Bosh up because he was saying Miami, the flashy lights of Miami. You know what I'm saying? So he's always his agent, his best friend, has always been that for him, and I think that's what sold LeBron on top of Magic because it didn't look Magic. The Lakers sell itself. Magic Johnson being the one to shake your hand.
You can't say that though.
But I'm saying if your agent already sold you on the Lakers and being look at the history, look at if you could be the one to bring them from worst to first, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying, like that kind of stuff. If I'm saying I understand what you're thinking, but try to step into the mindset of what they're trying to sell him on because you and I
I don't think his agent was trying to sell him on that.
I do. His agent's always been trying to sell him on things like that.
I really think that the whole basketball thing, even for his agent's perspective, is kind of taking a back seat. Like I said, I don't think that he's necessarily saying, you know what, I don't want to compete anymore. But when you go to this team like this, I don't think you go out west into this team that's clearly not built to compete with the Warriors. At least this coming season.
No, not at all.
I don't think that's the thing that...
By yourself, you may get out of the first round, but you're not getting much further. You might get out of the second. If you get out of the second, that's a crazy accomplishment no one expected as of July 2nd.
Right. And I mean, okay.
I don't think the current roster overall will look the same exact way on opening night, by the way.
Well, no, not at all. Even tonight, we've seen moves being made, not just with the Lakers, but in the league in general.
Yeah.
But the Lakers are not done. I don't think, to go back to your point about the agent possibly saying, okay, well, you can be one of the greatest of all time, Lakers of all time, saying you brought us from the gutter and now they were here. We're going to get to Drake's nonsense in a minute. But I don't know, because it's the Lakers and their lineage, I don't think that is necessarily a thing either because, realistically, I was thinking earlier, okay, let's say moving forward, I'm talking, he signed a 4-year deal. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what that clearly means that he's bought into...
He's trying to commit, yeah.
He's bought into Magic. He's bought into, maybe he believes in these young kids that are there.
The commitment that he never showed Cleveland.
Hello. So he buys into Magic, and he's buying into these young kids that are already there in LA, minus Julius Randle. That tells me that, one, he's not looking to compete necessarily, to me, he signed a 4-year deal. Okay, so realistically, with these young kids and buying into Magic, we're looking at what? We're looking at next season. We're looking into possibly signing another free agent within the next year, correct?
Yeah, I mean, they were targeting...
Okay, so...
Boogie, but we'll get into that. That didn't happen.
Okay, let's say hypothetically, next year we sign...
Kawhi.
Whoever, it doesn't matter. Let's say anybody, okay?
Well, there's Clay. Kawhi's up.
That's now year number 2. So next year when we sign that second piece, do you expect him to compete for a title next year? No. So now you're looking at year number 3 of LeBron.
If it's with Kawhi though, him.
No, stop. Realistically, you don't see them competing against the Warriors, and you don't see them going past the Warriors. Is what I'm saying.
But we have no clue who's gonna sign outside of Kawhi and him.
Bruh.
We don't even know if Kawhi's gonna sign or not.
Follow me.
All right. So it's just you're saying just Kawhi signed,
right?
And no one else.
I mean, even if anybody else signs, you don't.
Porzingis is a free agent.
They're not going to beat the Warriors next year. Next year, I'm saying their first year.
First year, no.
Together
Like
as a year.
said.
Okay, so now this is my point. So now we're in LeBron's third year. So now LeBron is.
Oh well, with those two. All right. Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going with that.
You see where I'm going. Now we're in year 3 of LeBron. 3 or 4, mind you. And now he's also 3 years older, or 2 years older at this point.
But you might have Porzingis and Kawhi in our scenario.
Stop.
At the end of LeBron's contract.
Stop. So now we're at year number 3 of LeBron, right? And now maybe you get to the finals. Let's say maybe. Okay, now realistically.
You're playing the Sixers or the Celtics.
Stop. Now we're 3 years older. So realistically, when you're talking about you're going to win championships in LA, realistically, you might be competing for one championship, and you might win one.
Yeah.
Maybe. Does that make you an all-time Laker great? No.
I don't think that makes him an all-time Laker.
For a Laker, no.
I don't think so either.
That's my overall point.
Well, you and I are realistic on that. Yes, it doesn't mean that the NBA players are.
Well, you were saying about if you were saying that his agent might be pitching that, okay, you can bring the Lakers up and you can consider it a great, and they can retire your jersey. No, none of that. According to what I just said,
LeBron thinks that if J.R. Smith makes that or doesn't make a dumb mistake and makes the bucket at the end of that game 1, they win at least one game. So he thinks that I did that with the Cleveland Cavaliers. What if I have a better Lakers team around me with Kawhi? We can win 1, 2, maybe 3 games, and I can do a little more. Not a broken hand. Let's do this.
Sure.
In his mind, he thinks he can win 2 or 3 while he's in LA for this 4 years. You and I agree. I don't see it being
maybe one. So you get one. So that doesn't make you a Laker great, because Laker greats. Lakers. Okay. Let me put you in the mindset of a Laker fan. Lakers. When you have a great player and when you have a great team, we're looking, if you don't get 2, it's like, 1, don't get me wrong, we appreciate the 1, don't get me wrong, but we're always looking at, 2 or more, because that's pretty much the standard that we've had throughout the entire history. Mm-hmm. Or at least, if we don't win, we're at least like right there.
And I'm not going to sit here and say he's Tom Brady and that at the end of these 4 years he's still going to be playing at this contract or at this level of play at the end of this contract. But
that's unrealistic.
Also, in his mind, he thinks that this is going to be a longer deal in LA than just maybe 4 years.
Sure, and maybe he does feel that way. But
do you know what I'm saying?
At that point, he's also 4 years younger, or older. How old is he now? 33?
32, yeah.
32?
33 this year. So he also has said multiple times that he wants to play in the league while his son's playing in the NBA. His son's going into high school this year.
Yeah, I don't even want to.
That's 5 years.
I don't even feel like getting into that. Whatever.
So, good news for the Cavs. Dan Gilbert gets his team back because he was claiming that he was ready for.
Oh, we're back on the Cavs? Okay.
No. It's really quick. I also just wanted to shout out an ex-Laker, Tyronn Lue. He's going to be an NBA head coach for the first time next year with the Cavaliers.
It's true.
Speaking of
it won't be garbage.
Head coaches, because there's a lot to get into with this LeBron to the LA thing. LeBron plays a slower paced game. Luke Walton plays an up-tempo offense. They're going to have to meet in the middle somewhere, right?
How does Luke Walton play an up-tempo
offense? He runs, as the coach. He runs the up-tempo offense. He would rather...
Lakers weren't necessarily up-tempo.
They were quicker by the end of the year. They were running one of the fastest overall. They were using the shot clock quicker than almost any team in the NBA the last 3 months of the season. They also won most of their games in that stretch. LeBron slows everything down, though. Old man legs.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to meet somewhere in the middle. Do you think this is going to... Do you think... Spoelstra got ran over as the head coach of LeBron. Mm-hmm. That guy from Russia, I already forget his name.
Damn, me too.
Got ran over.
Right.
I just made a joke about Tyronn Lue being a first-year head coach next year with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Luke Walton looks like a perfect candidate to get run over, even though I really like this guy a lot better than any of those other guys. He just...
Does he get run over by LeBron? Is that what you're asking?
No, just the way the fans...
No.
And I think LeBron's going to treat him with a lot more respect than he treated... He treated Spoelstra with a lot of respect, and Spoelstra still got ran over unjustifiably at times. I will be honest with you, unjustifiably at times. I also think that Luke Walton comes from the Steve Kerr branch, and that is going to give him a little more backbone in a situation like this.
Phil Jackson.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely, right. And his dad. Right. He comes from a little more backbone and a lot more knowledge trees than any of those guys, not taking away anything from any of those guys because they forgot more about basketball than I will ever know. But point being is this is just obviously a wealth of knowledge of if you just sit down and think about who he is, who he's played with, Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol. I mean, we could go on and on and on. He literally...
played with Shaq.
Huh?
I say he played with Shaq.
Who else has the Golden State Warriors playbook other than JaVale McGee?
Right.
Luke Walton.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just natural because it's who the hell he is. I think LeBron's naturally, at some point, if not, well, it will be more than one time. There will be multiple times throughout the course of the season where we'll say, well, it's clearly LeBron's team. He's clearly taking over. Even now, like, time out. Even now, people are saying with these other signings that the Lakers have gone through with, which we'll get into.
They consulted him, they said. It doesn't mean he said...
I doubt it. But we'll get to that.
He obviously trusts...
Whose team is this? Not Luke Walton's team. It's clearly LeBron's team because that's just who LeBron James is, and that's what the hell he does. Whether it's right or wrong, it's redundant, but it's going to happen. But if you're Luke Walton, you can't be any happier at this point. You want to talk about, job security. You went from the Warriors, which was obviously a beautiful situation, and he could have stayed there forever, right, in championships. Then you go to the Lakers, and it's like, yeah, you had some hype, and it was like, yeah, hell yeah, we got Luke Walton. And then it was like, oh, but you don't really have anybody, but now you're getting LeBron James, so you want to talk about job security, so he pretty much secured his job, as long as, basically, LeBron James has secured Luke Walton's job, so, I mean, hey, that's what's up. But there will be a point where we're going to say LeBron is clearly the coach, it's not Luke Walton. Because that's just how LeBron is, and it's been this way his basically, well, most, if not all of his career. It's going to be that way with Luke. And Luke is he's still a young-ass coach. He's a young head coach especially.
Absolutely. It's early. He did have that streak of what? Didn't they win 17 in a row with Golden State with him?
Yeah.
Right. So he's been there. We talked about all the people he played with. Kobe's one of them. I really like how Kobe's handled this. Have you heard his interviews on Stephen A. Smith?
No, I heard him. I listened to him live on the jump, though.
Was he lively on the jump?
Yeah, he was 1,000% behind this.
Yeah, me too. That's what I heard. I heard the Stephen A. Smith interview.
He was all about it. He tweeted out he was 100% behind it. And he actually have a quote that he said on jump, and I laughed. He was like, because Rachel Nichols was like, what was your immediate reaction? He said, quote, I laughed and shook my head. And I was like, if that's not the most Kobe thing of all time. But then he was like, well, because I laughed and shook my head. And then he was like, well, because, he's been playing this for 3 years and blah, 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 and he had this all planned out. Basically, and if you really look at it, LeBron really has planned this out.
Well, look at he traded his entire roster there to free up the Lakers' cap space last season.
Not even, but he's basically planned this whole fucking move. His whole damn entourage has been moving to LA the past 3 seasons.
Yeah. And
that's where Kobe was like, that's why I was laughing. But just his initial quote was, I laughed and I shook my head. I was like, Kobe's mad as shit, ain't he?
Probably. But Kobe also...
But he also said in the same interview, he said, anything that he needs now, I'm there for him 1,000%. So it's cool, whatever.
That's cool.
The
The favorite thing I heard about from the interview with Stephen A. Smith was he said... it gives me a reason to go to Lakers games now because I couldn't go to Lakers games and watch them lose. He's finally going to
start showing up.
He said, it's not that I didn't want to go to Lakers games. He said, it's just I couldn't go to Lakers games and watch them lose because I couldn't go out there and help them. He said, now I'm going to feel a little more relaxed sitting in a press box or courtside.
Yeah, well, during the Rachel Nichols interview, she was like, oh, you're going to be courtside now? He was like, I don't know if I'm going to be courtside. And I'm literally thinking as a Lakers fan, I was like, Kobe cannot be ever courtside.
No.
He will be yelling at everybody, including LeBron.
Right, and he
can't be courtside.
He said courtside or in the suite, but you already know he's going to be in the suite. So
he needs to be in the suite.
Agreed.
No.
Speaking of the Lakers and other moves, anything else you want to cover with LeBron? I think we covered about everything we could. I'm a fan of LeBron. I said how I feel about it. Talked about how you feel about it. We talked about LeBron, his contract, commitment.
LeBron-wise, no. I mean, we were 1,000% wrong. I'll say that again, but especially me. But outside of that, no.
So the next thing that happened right after LeBron signed, within a half hour to an hour, maybe 2 hours, Stephenson,
You said half hour to an hour, maybe 2 hours. This man.
How long was it?
I'm just saying that was a hell of a gap.
Dude, I don't remember. I just remember LeBron signed and then it became...
It was like an hour and a half.
Lance Stephenson signed.
An hour and a half, yeah.
And instantly the entire internet put up the Lance Stephenson blowing in LeBron's ear.
I guess now they think they get to do it every night now.
It's weird.
That's
I guess LeBron must really like Lance Stephenson.
My immediate reaction was laughter. My second reaction was...
So you don't like Lance Stephenson, right?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But that was my first reaction. Was laughter. Him. The second reaction was literally the Kobe Matt Barnes situation where it was we dislike each other, but I respect you enough that I want you on my side. That was literally my first two reactions. So I was like, okay, it's
Lance also balled out in the last two playoff series against LeBron.
Right, he shut LeBron down, and it was that.
He had great offensive. He had great offensive numbers too.
That the LaFaint that happens. Because Lance Stephenson gave him a clothesline, and that's why that happened. But no, like I said, the first two reactions was laughter, and I was like, well, it's literally just the Matt Barnes Kobe situation where Kobe was like, you know what,
we gotta win.
Kobe literally said, Matt Barnes, he's a warrior. So maybe this is literally LeBron saying, you know what, no, he's a warrior, and I want that type of dude on my team. And I was like, all right, whatever. I don't necessarily like it, but whatever. It's a 1-year deal. Cool, whatever. 20 minutes later,
JaVale McGee.
And
does Shaq say his name?
Guess he has to now. No, he still doesn't say his name.
No, he still doesn't say his name.
But okay, so you say
can he wear 33 or 35?
Yeah, I think he can wear both of them.
One on the front, one on the back.
Sure.
So he can surround Shaq's number.
He would never equal 34, so yeah, I'm with that.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just got to play one on the front, one on the back, just to try to troll Shaq.
I get it. It's not happening.
No, JaVale McGee sucks.
Yeah, he's garbage.
I don't say that about many professional athletes, but...
Literally, so the Lakers signed LeBron James, and I was like, huh. Didn't the Lakers sign Lance Stephenson? And like I said, my immediate reaction,
I like Lance. He's a good player, but I agree.
I immediately laughed.
I was kind of curious. Look, I was already a little like, all right, LeBron's there, so let's go. Let's see what happens. See what you can put around him. So, all right.
But then Lance Stephenson.
But then McGee, I guess that's just to get the playbook.
Well, you went that route, but no, that's not why. It has nothing to do with that damn Warriors. But no,
their playbooks, they tell you what their plays are.
Dude, no, I was mad as shit. The overall point, we got LeBron, then we got Lance Stephenson, then we went JaVale McGee.
You love them.
This is literally the anti-Dwight Los Angeles Lakers, outside of Dwight Howard.
So
who is trolling Dwight, is my question.
I got to Dwight's house the day after, 24 hours after all these players signed. And I said, Dwight, you see who the Lakers signed in the last 2 hours?
Yeah, I did. Lonzo and Rondo.
A player that I used to really like, and then he just kind of...
Lonzo and Rondo.
Yeah, he disappeared.
So literally, we have been... Everybody at Dwight is just like, fuck them. No, they're bums. They suck. The Lakers are like, come on aboard. So literally, the sports gods... This is 2018. This is Dwight's sports world. This is the Lakers... Or not the Lakers. This is the damn Eagles winning the Super Bowl. This is the damn Lakers signing...
Yeah, Super Bowl Classic.
This is the damn Lakers signing LeBron James, and then they signed every other scrub that Dwight doesn't like.
Stephenson, JaVale McGee, Rajon Rondo. So is J.R. Smith and Swaggy P next? Swaggy P coming back, and then Swag Champ. Sorry, no disrespect to Swag Champ. My bad. Hope he forgives me. And J.R. If they could get those two,
it's a possibility.
Lake Show.
No, and that's why I'm glad you said that, because this is the route that I need to go. Because everybody's all up in my mentions now after the LeBron James thing. It was like, okay, well, LeBron, okay, cool. But then it was everybody else. Everybody was like, what the fuck is the Lakers doing? And I'm just like nobody seems to understand.
Clearly, all of these contracts are 1 year, by the way.
That's hell low. That's where I was getting at.
Yeah, I know.
all 3 of those contracts.
All 3 are 1 year.
1 year. You know what that means? It means 2 things. One, the Lakers are filling up roster space.
Rondo was 1 for $1 million, wasn't he? 1 for like 1.
No, we're paying them more than 1 mil. But it's regardless. It's 1 year. It doesn't matter how much we're paying them. So 3 dudes.
They did what the Sixers did last year with JJ Redick, Ilyasova.
Except we're not gonna re-sign Rondo.
They didn't re-sign any of them.
Y'all re-signed JJ Redick.
Did they get him today?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't actually get to. I did not get to check anything. That's super exciting.
Breaking news. They did that only a few hours ago.
I know. Yeah, like it had to be after I got off lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's super exciting.
It was
Oh, thank you for telling me that. Well, right here, breaking news on JD Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jarrett got excited. Nice. We needed him back now that no one else is coming.
Facts. We'll get to that, but
they overpaid for him last year, so the contract's probably.
It was another 1 year.
Yeah.
It was another 1 year.
Nice. Yes, my man. What's up, JJ?
Yeah. So the Lakers are literally signing these bums to 1 year deals, and you know what that means? That means that they're not going to be there most likely next year, including Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
Yo, that was.
He signed a 1 year.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even write him down.
He signed a 1 year deal as well, which kind of surprised me. I thought he might have got.
All right, hold on. I'm not mad because I want these players to get their money, but like, yes or no, you read the contract. Wasn't that like 23 mil or something like that? Like his number was just.
I don't even pay attention.
Again, JJ Redick got overpaid by my Sixers last year, so I'm not sitting here making fun of nobody's 1 year contracts, but like for real, like this dude. Didn't he make a shit ton of money last year too? Like, nah.
I don't know.
I think his contract was crazy high last year.
We talked about this last year.
I like him. I like him.
Well, sure. But we talked about this last year too. I don't know what's overpaying anybody anymore.
In the NBA. Okay, we agree.
I don't know. So, literally every single contract, I'm like, oh, sure.
If you break down this roster though, okay, because like we could.
This is not a team that is built to compete this year, and nor.
I'm not disagreeing.
And nobody's looking at it that way.
I'm not
Wait, time. I need
we
to clarify that because like I said, everybody was in my metrics.
They're the 4th best team in the West at best right now today, as of July 2nd. I'm not saying that they don't get more people between now and then, but at best maybe they're the 3rd, but are they the 3rd? No.
You're stretching.
I think they're the 4th.
You're stretching. I'm not even putting them.
Look at what the Cavs did last year just because of LeBron.
Well, and that's the ridiculousness of Vegas and the freaking NBA and the world that we live in. I'm not going to say the Lakers are immediately in the West, especially. Stop.
4th or 5th, I think, best team.
I said without looking at the damn conference. I said 5 maybe if I'm being generous. 5 through 8. I'll give you that. They are. I'll give you this.
I believe that they could be the 3rd best team.
It's absolutely ridiculous. As constructed, and that's that.
As constructed, yes, I agree. But I'm saying before the season starts, I think we can get to a point where they are the 3rd best team in the West, without question.
Whatever, that's absolutely ridiculous, and that's that bullshit LeBron thing that I keep.
They can't ride into the sunset with this. This would not be the 3rd best team in the West. Like I said, I think that's the 4th, 5th best team at best. But if they get some,
would you pick a damn number? What are they in
right now at this exact moment? 4th or 5th.
At the end of the year, what are they going to be? Right now, this is like they're 4th or 5th, and now he's got to think about it. What the hell are they at the end of the season?
I think they could be. I think they have the potential to get up to the 3rd best team.
That's ridiculous, but okay, fine. You said 3rd. I said maybe 5. They're definitely 5 through 8. I'll give them that 1,000%. I'll give them that. Nothing higher than the 5th seed, I would say. I'd also have to look at the damn conference to.
Well, I was just gonna say, if you break it down, who do they lose to other than the Rockets and the Warriors?
I don't have the damn conference in front of me, but. The damn sure not a top 3 team in the West. That's just absolutely ridiculous.
Pelicans, no boogie. Trailblazers, no. They'll beat the Trailblazers.
I don't have the damn Western Conference.
Oklahoma City?
There you go. Okay, so that's what, 4 or 5?
That puts them at 4.
Okay, 4 or 5. What else is in the
Spurs?
Western Conference? Okay. Right.
I think
bottom line is,
are they better than the Spurs? Because Kawhi, if Kawhi plays, obviously not.
Regardless,
obviously
I need people to understand this team, as presently constructed, is not a damn team.
I'm excited.
This team is not constructed.
For your team.
This team is not constructed this year to do a damn thing.
We're rooting for one common goal for the first time ever in sports. Do you understand that, Dwight? This is a great day.
No, I'm not rooting for anything because realistically,
we want the Lakers to win championships,
and it's not happening this year, which is what
I'm
trying to get at.
I agree.
Because I need
that makes me
people
excited
to
too, because the Sixers have a realistic shot of maybe they got to beat the Celtics, but maybe getting in there, and we're gonna get destroyed by the Warriors, but we'll talk about that.
Yes. This damn Lakers team is not constructed. This is what I need people to understand. This is my damn point.
No, today they are not gonna. They are not a championship team. They are not a Western Conference Finals team.
They're not even a second round team.
I think they might get to the second round.
Stop it. They're not even a second round team as currently constructed.
This exact moment, yeah, you're right.
Because everybody is in my mentions losing their damn mind. Why are you signing these 3 players? The Rondos, the McGees, the Lance Stephensons. I'm trying to explain these people. This was my point. And this is what I was trying to get at. We are literally filling roster space at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody, you're saying yeah, like you understand, which I know you do, but nobody else seems to understand that because everybody's in my mentions saying, what the hell are the Lakers doing? I'm like, we're filling out roster space. This is the same thing that he did.
Somebody's got to play minutes.
Same thing that he did, the same thing the Cavs did when LeBron was at both of those places. What did they do? They signed veterans to minimum short deals.
This is what you and I do best because breaking down games is great and all and going after games is great and all, but actually,
no, it's not.
But hypothetical things is probably what you and I do best. Look at this. Here's how I was thinking about this before we got in here. Lonzo and Rondo, right? They're going to be your point guards throughout this year. That's actually pretty good. I know you don't like Lonzo, but that's actually pretty cool.
I don't like Lonzo and I don't like Rondo, but what I said...
That's serviceable, though. That's serviceable, yes?
Sure.
Okay.
My overall situation with that was...
And Hart. I love Hart, man. I think he's a great player.
But the Lakers need a backup point guard. And I said that immediately. I said, we need a veteran point guard. We need somebody to coach Lonzo. And who's that going to be? It's not Isaiah Thomas because the Lakers aren't signing Isaiah Thomas.
No,
so
but when Rondo is trying his hardest, he actually is a pretty good player, yeah?
Yeah, in Boston. He's not that anymore, but...
No, he's not Boston anymore, but he still puts up numbers at times.
He's going to be coming off the bench, so that's
agreed.
And, okay, you know what? Just real quickly, because I know how much you hate Stephen A. Smith, so I got to bring him up. Because Stephen A. Smith, shortly after the Lakers signed Lonzo, he was like, he doesn't understand. He thinks it's ridiculous. You can't have both of them on the floor. It's like, son of a bitch, do you understand? I just went that route. Son of a bitch, do you understand? The Lakers need a veteran backup point guard to coach Rondo.
Do you know basketball?
Coach Lonzo, excuse me. First of all.
we agree.
Second of all, when? I mean, I'm sure it will happen at some point, but when are the Lakers ever going to have both Rajon Rondo and Lonzo Ball both out there at the same time?
There's really no reason.
I don't see a reason for it ever happening. I'm sure it will, but he was like, I can't see them being on the court at the same time. I was like, because it's not going to fucking happen, genius.
This is what I've been trying to say to you for a very long time. There's such thing as called positionless basketball. So like, look.
They're both point guards. They both.
I'm not saying that they'll both be on the floor at the same time. But the point was, remember last year, James Harden and Chris Paul couldn't get along, and they put up the most points in the history of basketball. Again, I'm not saying that's
close to the same thing.
I'm not saying it is the same thing. What I'm saying is people don't understand how this game's being played at the moment. It's not the same exact concept that they're thinking of it, just a true point guard and true point guard. They're not going to be on the floor at the same time. I understand that. If it happens though, it's not going to be as bad as he was trying to make it out to be. But look, Lance, Tatum, McGee. I mean, who are some of the other young guys?
Who's Tatum?
Not Tatum. Ingram. Sorry, Ingram.
Yeah, right. About them. So clearly...
But I'm saying, like, that combination of people, clearly they're not going to beat the Rockets or the Warriors, but they are more serviceable around LeBron James than the Cleveland Cavaliers were last year. And at the end of the day, that's what he was looking for, is to take less off of him than what the Cavs were doing. And if you can end up getting Kawhi somehow in a trade with the Spurs... I mean, Boogie's obviously not on the table anymore, but he was an option. But, like, if you could pick somebody up, and next year, Klay Thompson's going to be available. If Kawhi doesn't get traded, Kawhi will be available.
We'll get to the Kawhi thing.
There will be other people as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said Porzingis. Players like that. And Porzingis, I mean, how many teams, outside of the Knicks, how many teams did he know growing up? You know, the Knicks, Lakers, Celtics, maybe that was it, you know, because where he grew up, he didn't grow up in America. So...
I'm glad you said that this Lakers... Okay, so currently constructed, this Lakers team, even with just LeBron James, you think it's better than the Cavaliers? Yeah, because I just want to clarify because people in my mentions the past 24 hours since this thing is going down have said, well, it's the same thing. Shout out to Joe or Joe, but he was like, he's not much better. I'm like, that's clearly a better situation. No, it's not. Again,
I mean, what's much better? Like anything's better than what he was just playing with.
This Lakers team, I need people to understand.
I'll take Kevin Love and J.R. Smith on his best days, but that's it off that team anymore. Like, who else are you taking off that team? Tristan Thompson?
You're not even, and even JR is a question mark.
And that's my point, but that's exactly my point. Right. Who do you want off that Cleveland Cavaliers team right now?
This Lakers team is not
outside of Kevin Love, and I will give you Kevin Love's going to have a monster year if no one else comes to Cleveland.
Sure. But this Lakers team is not built for this year. Clearly, no. You want to talk about trusting a dumbass process?
That's why he signed for 4 years, though. We talked about LeBron. That's why he signed for 4 years.
You want to talk about a process. This is literally trust the Magic. You're trusting Magic Johnson to... You're not only trusting Magic, he's clearly trusting Magic for next year to sign somebody. And he's banking on Ingram, Lonzo, not Randall at this point. Ingram, Lonzo, who's the other one?
Hart?
No, Kuzma. You're banking on these 3 or 4 dudes.
That's what I was trying to think of.
LeBron is clearly banking on Magic and those 3 or 4 young dudes to be something in a year, 2 years. Mm-hmm. That's what he's banking on.
I said about Randall before being the disposable one. Kuzma would probably be the next one in line if I had to pick one being disposable.
No,
you would pick Lonzo.
Yeah, but I even Ingram. Kuzma.
Yeah, you like Kuzma the best?
I love Kuzma.
Okay.
And actually, I have it written down. Kuzma, Ingram.
I like all 3 of them. Kuzma, Zoe, and Ingram. I'm not saying Randall was the only one I didn't feel like fit, and I even like Randall. I just didn't feel like
this past season. Kuzma, Ingram, and Randall all averaged 16 points.
I like Kuzma and Ingram a
lot. To me, they were all expendable at this point.
But also,
to me, you can get rid of at least 2 of the 4 that were available, and they got rid of 1, which was Randall.
You can get rid of more for Kawhi if you would like. I mean,
I'm still for that. I still say you can get rid of an Ingram and Alonzo, and be cool with that if you get a Kawhi.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree.
Clearly, the Lakers aren't about that. Which do you fault that? Because
no.
I'm kind of torn with that, but I understand it.
So actually, you might think. So I'm glad you said that because I go back and forth on the Sixers for Kawhi thing. I don't think that just because
I can make an easy decision with y'all. Do you give up Markelle Fultz? Because I do. I think it's completely ignorant that y'all won't even put that on the table.
I think it's. No.
Supposedly y'all won't even put that on the table.
I heard that, what? And I don't agree with that.
Embiid, sure.
Embiid and Simmons are the only 2.
Got it. I'm with that.
I agree.
But Fultz, yes.
Kawhi, and if you could get a commitment out of him long term, then yeah. Fultz is absolutely on the table.
You don't even have to. Well, Kawhi's not going to commit to anybody else, supposedly, other than the Lakers.
So, and my thought on that is just because Paul George committed as a Sixers fan, I don't know if I just want to give up Dario and Covington.
Easy.
For 1 year?
For Kawhi?
Look,
maybe you could convince him to stay.
And that's the risk.
1,000%.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
I make that risk.
I'm not saying I don't do it.
That's why
I'm not saying I don't do it. I sit there and think about it for sure.
That's why if I'm the Lakers, you can have Ingram, you can have a second player.
Like I said, if the Spurs call me and say, look,
can't be Randall at this point.
If the Spurs call me and said, look, Dario, Covington, first round pick, I do it. If they say Fultz, Covington, first round pick, I do it.
Okay. So you're still in regardless if Kawhi says I'm here for the long run.
I feel much comfortable doing that, yeah.
Well, obviously.
But yeah, I mean, look, you have to.
You got to take the risk.
I think that...
What did the Thunder do? They took the risk, and what they get? They got a commitment
Paul
George.
And I don't think...
Paul George is coming to the Lakers, right? According to all the experts.
We keep using the word risk, though, and that's a super risky proposition to make.
And Paul George is coming to the Lakers until he wasn't.
We agree.
Shout out to that bum-ass 3-part Sports Center thing that wasn't even a thing, and then he anticlimactically stayed with OKC, which, by the way, we're going to get to that, I'm sure, but we're already here. I'm bringing it up. Did you see his damn barber already had tweeted out what the result was going to be before? And I was like, oh, he's staying.
Thunder up, yeah.
That was the thing.
Get excited, Oklahoma.
They announced the party, and I was like, oh, he's staying, obviously.
His barber was like, get excited, Oklahoma.
And then that, and I was like, obviously.
And he was going to a party, and his barber had just cut his hair that morning.
Said, stay tuned for some good news, OKC, and I was like, well.
Speaking of Oklahoma City, and we were talking about the Lakers, Oklahoma City is trying to talk to Melo about either getting a no-trade clause taken out of his contract or just buying him flat out of his contract. If they buy him flat out of his contract, he will not want a super huge deal. The Lakers are in the market for signing people for 1 year. I'm not, look, what'd you just say? Fill out the roster. Look, I mean, that is the...
It doesn't help, it doesn't hurt. To me, it's
better than Rondo.
Sure.
I would love it, but yeah.
It doesn't help, it doesn't hurt.
Look, I want him, honestly, as a person who loves Melo, I want him bought out of that contract so he can go do something else.
Go to the Sixers.
I'd be totally in on that. We know that.
Go to the Sixers.
They need shooters.
Yeah. The Lakers need shooters too. But
For sure.
And
that's why I said him. He makes sense in both places. He does.
Nah.
We just talked about Paul George and how ridiculous that whole scenario was. I don't think we need to cover that anymore. Is that the new thing? Throw a party for the free agent the night that free agency starts so that he can't leave.
Did you see
Nas win?
Russ
threw the party.
He abandoned his family vacation and came and threw his party in OKC.
He paid Nas to perform at it.
Outside of being in LA when LeBron signed, I was like, damn, I really wish I was at that party.
That was probably fun.
Did you see the pictures of that place, bro?
Look lit. The one thing I do want to give credit for, because I think nationally, not just me, nationally, Oklahoma City, I'm a little harder on Russ because I would just want to see him do much better than he does. Huh?
You want to see him do worse?
No.
Well, you're the Russ hater, right?
I have to play that role, but I don't like it. I like Russ.
I'm glad you kind of half admitted it just now.
I have to, but I don't want to because
you are the Russ hater.
I would like to see him play his game differently because of the skill set he has. Only because my favorite athlete of all time, Allen Iverson, we've been through this.
But you hate Russ.
I don't. What the Oklahoma City Thunder just did is basically being like the Milwaukee Bucks and trading for Kawhi, yeah? And then getting him to stay. Like, that's the best part, right? Because Kawhi saying he's already going to LA no matter what happens. Paul George said he was going to LA no matter what happens.
I was trying to figure out what the Milwaukee Bucks had to do with anything you just
Went
said.
to a city that's really not the most desirable. Has a star already.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the same pedigree the Thunder were on as a franchise, because what the Thunder were able to essentially do is say, look, Paul George, over the next 7 years, you can make just under $300 million if we can give you the max extension 2 years from now, the 5-year max.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they showed him, like, hey, if you go back through our history since we've been the Oklahoma City Thunder and we made the finals, we got rid of Harden because we wanted to be able to give Russ and Kevin Durant these kind of contracts. You are our next Kevin Durant. You are the centerpiece. You were the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Still on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as much as the Lakers and LeBron are desirable, and he might not have known LeBron was going to the Lakers.
Oh, knock it off. Yes, he did.
I think he did as well.
Well, he don't think. It came out that him and LeBron had a conversation the night before.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
It came out before he even signed with OKC.
Oh, okay.
They had a conversation, supposedly, the night before. They talked on the phone, apparently.
Okay, well, then that sums it up. LeBron also apparently talked to KD.
Sure.
Which, what did I say? I called that one. I said, shooter's got to shoot, right? You got to at least make the phone call.
I guess that's what LeBron was doing. He was hitting up everybody. He said, look, I'm going to LA. I need somebody to come with me.
But do you know what I mean? Like, I said, like, you have to at least minimum put the phone call out there. And he did.
Sure.
And he kind of got clowned for it. But I said he had to do it, man. And I said it before he did it. I thought it was a good idea. With everybody. Not just KD, but with everybody. I said specifically KD, but everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it worked for Rondo, McGee, and Lance Stephenson.
I'm not even going to acknowledge that joke. Look, as far as the Paul George thing,
I mean, look, Oklahoma City Thunder, like it's impressive what they pulled off. That was a risk. We talk about if the Sixers were to trade some people, or if the Lakers aren't taking near the risk anybody else is in the league by trading for Kawhi. But let's just say the Sixers trading for Kawhi. We talked about how big of a risk that is.
It's not a risk for the Sixers, but whatever.
But Oklahoma City, did we or did we not? And even I agreed with you as much as I thought Oladipo was a good player. Did we or did we not clown the Pacers for what they did? Because we thought...
I did. I don't know about you.
I didn't clown him as hard, but it was still... We talked about it at the time, and I said, no, whenever you trade the superstar, you will lose the trade. It looks a lot better in return today. Maybe not Paul George return, because Paul George, if he turns out to be the centerpiece that Oklahoma City can derail... Maybe Houston. I don't see Golden State, but maybe Houston.
Nah.
Beat the Lakers in a series.
Woo. This year says a lot.
Talking contracts. It does.
It doesn't say anything to me. Look, honestly, the Paul George thing, I laughed and shook my head at the same
I couldn't
time.
believe he went back, because we both said that he wasn't going back, correct?
We both said there was no
Again,
chance.
Realistically.
Especially when you have a SportsCenter special or a 3-part thing. But I knew immediately. In part 2, this is what, and people apparently just ignored it or didn't watch the damn thing. In part 2, I didn't watch part 1. I saw part 2.
I didn't watch any of it.
When he sat down, I didn't watch part 3. I just saw part 2, and I was
Did
like,
part 3 air?
I guess, yeah, presumably. Part 2 was he sat down with Dwayne Wade and they had a conversation, and literally Paul George said that the Lakers thing will always be there. He literally said this: the Lakers thing will always be there because he was a fan of them growing up and all this blah blah blah. But he said, but I feel like the best chance to win is in OKC. The moment he said that, I said he's staying. When he said the Lakers will always be there, but I feel like I can win in OKC where we're at. And I was like, he's clearly signed with OKC. And what did he do? Like a day or two after that aired, he signed with OKC. Everybody was like, oh, well, and I was like, I mean, if you were half paying attention, you knew this was going to happen already.
The breadcrumbs were also there because when Russ signed the extension last year during the preseason, he signed that ridiculous contract. Paul George said, well, this kind of makes my decision a lot easier. That was the first words he said to the media afterwards.
From his perspective, sure, I don't know.
Because obviously none of us could have read that as, oh, he's staying in Oklahoma City forever, right. Clearly. But at the same time, hey, I mean, he put that out there to soften the blow, whatever, but it looks really good now.
Sure. I don't get it. I don't know what he's buying into more than what he would have been buying into going to the Lakers
like
with
I said,
anybody.
They sold him on you're the Kevin Durant to this Russ Kevin Durant piece. You were the new Kevin Durant.
Sure.
We agree that's not
And they also
realistic.
had a James Harden. They also had...
Playoff P, man.
No, I'm talking about previously.
I know, but I'm saying they got Playoff P now.
Yeah. So... Again, I don't know what he's buying into that's even better than the Lakers situation today. I don't think it's... I mean, you got Russ, which is cool, but other than that, whatever, Paul George. And, and you know what? I wanted to bring this up. Shout out to all the experts, because only God's an expert, Ernie, but everybody and their mom was saying, Paul George, he's come to the Lakers, he's come to the Lakers, he's come to the Lakers, he wants to be a Laker, and he even still says that, but he said that will always be there, and then he's still signed elsewhere. So, shout out to everybody that has been saying, well, the Lakers can just sign somebody next year. This is why I think the Lakers need to pursue Kawhi today. I think they need to try to trade for him today because the Lakers have been burned more times than not. They won with LeBron. Congratulations. Nobody really thought he was going there.
Aldridge, Paul George. Yeah, you're right.
Russ,
swing and miss, Russ. Yeah, over the last couple of years.
And nobody really, I mean, some people were saying LeBron was going to the Lakers, but more often than not, they were saying no. They were saying they were going to get other people. This is why I think the Lakers need to be aggressive and get a Kawhi, because you don't want to bank again for next year in the offseason.
I agree. I understand.
Because supposedly Paul George was that guy as well, and here we are. He's in OKC along with the other guy, Russ, who supposedly was also coming, and here we are. The Lakers only got LeBron as of this recording, because they're not getting Boogie either, because he's gone as well, so... If you're the Lakers, you don't want to bank on the next off season, you might just want to just, force your hand and just give in because you don't want to be burned next year.
I agree.
And Paul George proved that. LaMarcus Aldridge proved that. Maybe you could even say Russ proved that.
And that's why we talked about your best play is to, even if you have to give up any of those three young stars that we talked about earlier with Kuzma, Lonzo, and Ingram, you might want to just part ways with them for Kawhi because that opportunity is not there often. And look at what Paul George did with Oklahoma City. He came back. Other players like Paul George that stayed at places that they were committed before. Kevin Durant, Chris Paul.
Not surprising.
DeAndre Jordan.
Didn't stay.
Well, he was committed to the Mavs at one point, though, before. I said committed. 2 teams before.
Was it, honestly, was it even a story when DeAndre was like, okay, I'm going to the Mavs this time around? Was it even a big deal? Because I don't think it was.
Here's my thing with that. You look really pathetic, Mavericks.
Do they?
Yeah, this guy was barricaded.
Who else was coming to the Mavericks?
I hear you, but this guy was barricaded in his house.
That looks pathetic on his part as well.
With all these, with Blake Griffin, you remember it was Blake Griffin, and who else was in the house? They were all tweeting pictures.
Yeah.
Chris Paul at the time.
And Doc.
Doc. They were all tweeting pictures. They were all barricaded in his house the night of free agency after he already told the Mavericks and Mark Cuban that he would sign that contract. And he ends up signing the one with the Clippers before Doc Rivers leaves that house as the GM.
Did the Mavericks save money by doing it this way? Or?
It looks pathetic on both sides.
Yeah. I don't know if it looks pathetic.
I'd be mad.
I think it's
Would
funny.
you be mad as a Lakers fan if a player turned you down before?
I thought he was going to finish that and then signed.
Yeah, 4 years later. 3 years later, whatever it is. 2 years later, I don't know how long it's been.
Sure. I don't know if I'd call it pathetic, though, but, I mean, again, who else is going to the Mavericks, so...
Yeah, I hear you.
It's funny, it's kind of,
I find it funny that Paul George...
I don't know if I'd call it ironic, but
I find it funny that Paul George and Chris Paul both tweeted within 10 minutes of each other pictures of them with their current team, like, that they're staying with, and the caption was unfinished business, like...
Wait, who did that?
Paul George and Chris Paul. Within 10 minutes of each other.
See that,
And I was just laughing because I was like, well, you both can't finish the business, honestly. Like, there's literally only one winner, and it's probably not neither of you. So, like, it's Boogie Cousins, if we're being real.
You both got the same guys running your burner accounts, your actual accounts. Like, I don't follow.
Yeah.
I saw that, yeah.
Boogie Cousins is the only one that actually is going to finish the business. 1 year, $5.4 million to basically play from middle of February until game 4 or 5 of the NBA Finals. 4 if it's the Sixers, 5 if it's the Celtics.
This man's really banking on the Sixers.
I mean, who else you got? Sixers or Celtics? In the East. It's dry out here on these streets, bro. Who? Toronto? Is that your squad? Is that your East squad now?
It's never been my squad, but I mean, without LeBron, I mean, why are they not in that conversation?
Oh, I hear you. It's legitimately the Sixers and Celtics, I think.
And Toronto's right there. It's literally those three, and that's it.
All right, so I keep hearing the stuff about Kyrie. Do you hear he wants to leave Boston?
And go where?
It's not the where. It's just he's not happy in Boston.
I haven't heard this at all.
So I heard the story about 2 weeks ago, but I don't really, I was like, I didn't really pay no mind. A source I listen to a lot, it's not a source, it's just a podcast I listen to a lot, Ryan Russillo, he used to have that ESPN show. He's really connected in the NBA, talks a lot about things, actually kind of weeks before it happens. He was on the LeBron thing to LA for a very long time. He was like, look, he was even saying he didn't find it to be realistic, but like he was one of the few people that I did hear talking about LeBron is narrowing it down to LA, Cleveland, and Philly, and that's it. And he said that like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So like, anyways, point being is he was talking about it on his podcast that just released on Monday, the day after LeBron got there, and I didn't pay it merit when I heard it in other places, but I heard it there. It kind of shocks me if it's true.
Sure.
Because I don't look. I mean, as a Sixers fan, obviously, I'm not a fan of. I can't stand the Celtics. I don't like the fans, any of it. But as a Lakers fan, you feel the same way. But realistically, that franchise has done nothing but put themselves in great positions. Even going back to the beginning of the Paul Pierce days. You know what I'm saying? Since then till about now, they've done nothing but build their way to try to get championships. Even when they were breaking it down.
I want to say the beginning of the Paul Pierce days. That's
middle.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Paul Pierce came
the real
what,
big
04?
three situation.
Paul Pierce came what, 04?
I don't know. But the real big three situation.
03?
I don't know what year he came in.
But 2008 is when they won the championship, right?
Yeah.
So, he won it his 5th year in the NBA. 6th year in the NBA. Was he around longer?
I don't know. It's redundant. Regardless, it was the original real big three.
Right.
Is when they were, and forward is when they.
Agreed. Okay. So point being is that the Celtics have, even in trading those big three players. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. They got great return, and they've always been at least in the mix. I mean, the Sixers went through a span of playing them, and they were one game away from playing the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, to the Sixers dismantling their team and having a 5-year process of trying to lose. They did that, and then they are a year ahead of schedule, and the Celtics are still in the Eastern Conference Finals. Outside of LeBron, there is no franchise doing that consistently. You know, the Warriors have now started to do that, but the Spurs... but few and far between. So my thought on Kyrie wanting to leave, as a basketball player, unless you grew up like a Knicks fan, a Lakers fan, a Sixers fan, there's really no reason that you wouldn't want to play in Boston, right? Like, that is kind of the marquee franchise other than the Lakers. And the way they run their business... I don't know why you
threw Knicks in there, but I'm hearing you.
Because, no, I'm saying the Knicks hate the Celtics. I meant that unless you grew up a fan of those teams.
I don't even...
That New York
You're
Boston
saying this is a
rivalry.
thing. I haven't heard about this.
I'm saying if
I don't
it is.
believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't think Ryan Russillo would talk about it if it wasn't. But
I'm also trying to discredit him. But
no. I'm on your side of No. It's odd to me.
But if you're the Celtics, yeah, you can get. I'm sure you can get two.
Kawhi.
You can get two pieces at least for. I'm sure.
Kawhi.
And that's a better situation.
I agree.
Cool.
Especially if Kyrie already went out.
I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. Kyrie also says things like he
it.
thinks the earth is flat just to mess with people, so I don't know what is true and what is not true with him.
Allegedly.
I don't know what is true and what is not true with him.
He'll be a Celtic next year. I don't believe that.
I think he'll be a Celtic next year for sure as well. And that was my bigger thought as well when he was talking about it. I was like, well, he's not going to go anywhere. His best opportunity to beat LeBron, right, or to go further than LeBron, right, is staying with the Celtics right now. Unless he goes to the Warriors, and that's not happening. Any other basketball news?
Oh. No. Fuck the Warriors is what I wanted to say.
Because Boogie Cousins
is a Warrior.
Cheat code.
Shout out to the Warriors, man. They got rid of bum-ass JaVale McGee and then signed Boogie Cousins, so...
Upgrade.
Yeah, 1,000%.
It's that meme.
I don't know what meme you're talking about, but...
It's this
the button? Yeah, I got you. Yeah, the red button, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what they just did.
Exactly
they just upgrade.
More than that. Good for them. Again, and just to go back to the Lakers.
They didn't need him.
I saw people say, I saw somebody post on Facebook going, well, the Warriors, they got Boogie. I mean, shout out to the Lakers here. You're not winning chip now. I was like, they weren't fucking winning in the first place. But
I was literally just gonna say, can I go on record by saying the Golden State Warriors did not need Boogie Cousins?
No.
Okay.
And they were going to win regardless.
See,
they have no competition. Realistically, do they have any competition whatsoever?
The Warriors?
Yeah. The answer is no. Nothing. Not the Sixers, not the Celtics. Damn sure not the Lakers.
Rockets?
Not the Spurs. That might be the closest thing, and
Agreed.
that's still a flat out no.
Game 7 though.
Not even.
Oklahoma City's not a real threat.
No.
Agreed.
The Warriors, they're walking away with this.
As of July 2nd, we both are on the same page.
Shouts to them, I guess. Are we going to a Lakers-Sixers game?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to a Lakers-Sixers game?
Can we go to a Lakers-Wizards game as well so I can also root for LeBron? I'm not going to be able to root for him when we go to the Sixers.
Maybe we'll just pick one of those.
All right, can we go to the Wizards one so I can root for LeBron?
Probably a lot cheaper.
Okay, I want to root for LeBron.
That's fine. You can root for his bum ass. I can boo him then.
I just don't want to root against him.
I'm just going to boo him
Because
regardless.
if we go, I saw him twice in Philly and I rooted against him both times. But if I saw him once with Cleveland, I've seen him once with Miami. So if I get to see him with the Lakers, I'll be able to say I've seen him with all three of his teams. And I really want to be able to do that. And you're a Lakers fan, so we should do this. Cool. DC it is. I know a cool hotel in walking distance from the stadium. So.
Word. Sounds like a party.
Yeah, we just handled business there.
Uber.
Speaking of the nation's capital, before I get further, I'm wearing my red, white, and blue. Happy Independence Day.
True.
This is actually what I got for Father's Day for going to the Phillies game. They handed this out.
Word?
They handed this out at the Phillies game. To fathers. There's no name on the back. It's the old batting practice.
So you
jerseys.
just walk in and say, I'm a father and I gave it to you?
Well, no, I think it was just like, you had to be old enough. I think it was like an 18 and up promo, probably. I assume. But it was just Father's Day thing. It was for Father's Day. This is a John Kruk jersey, so it's literally for like he was played in 1993. So it's a Father's Day.
It's nothing.
Right, it's a Father's Day thing. Like, you know what I mean? It was for the older crowd.
That's what's up.
I love John Kruk. These are actually my favorite jerseys that the Phillies had. These are the batting practice jerseys from '93. These are my favorite ever style. Like I've always wanted a Mickey Morandini one. He was my favorite player when I was a kid. But I also love John Kruk, so I'll take a John Kruk one.
That's free.
They have the old style.
I don't see an MLB logo on it though. How cheap were they when I gave it to you?
I don't know. It was free from the Phillies. So.
Did he usually have the MLB right here in the middle?
No.
It's just the NFL.
No.
And then the NBA's here.
No.
MLB doesn't put a logo on there.
No, it's on their hats.
Oh. All right. I was wondering how cheap they were about it, but.
Oh no, they don't have. Well, they used to have. They have the logo now at the top of here, but they never had. They didn't have it back then. It used to be right here at the top of it, but I know this.
Oh, okay. I see the Chevy logo on the back.
Right,
so
yeah.
Just checking. Just want to see how cheap they were.
Oh no, somebody sponsored this.
I don't know. I see the Chevys on the back. I see it.
But yeah, so happy 4th of July.
Yep.
This is cool.
We'll be working.
Making money though, good money.
Something about a smile. I won't be smiling.
A box will be. Speaking of people smiling, people not smiling, Dwight.
Yep.
So LeBron was the biggest topic, and you were right. We should have opened up with him, and we did. I asked you before the show because the World Cup is drunk, and I do not want it to go home. I love it. It is so upside down. There is no way to explain it. So, we talked about Germany having the tough game with Sweden. We didn't talk about Germany losing because it didn't happen until afterwards, losing to Japan and getting out of the tournament. They gave up, the Republic of Korea, not Japan. They gave up 2 goals in extra time in a tie game that if they win, they advanced.
And all they had to do was
beat the Republic of Korea, Dwight. It was the biggest upset in the modern day World Cup since the rankings have come out in 1994. The second biggest upset happened in the round of 16, though, when Russia defeated Spain on penalty kicks. As a player who does not like Gerard Piqué, I'm a Barcelona fan. That is my soccer team, my football team. Gerard Piqué is a defensive player. He's a defender for Barcelona. I do not like him. He's Shakira's ex-husband. He's just always...
You're just an extra now that you had to throw out there.
Well, he always bothered me as a side. Even when they were married, I didn't like him. He bothered... He's just...
Some extra detail that wasn't necessary, but you had to throw out there because you're petty. All right, got you. Go ahead.
He plays...
Got you. He's Shakira's ex-husband. Nobody cared, but got you.
Well, he had a handball in the biggest game of his life in the World Cup.
Had everything to do with Shakira. Right?
No, that one did not. He put his hands in the air and the ball bounced off of it. Handball in the box, the other team gets a penalty kick. Russia scores, ties the game up. The game goes to penalty kicks and goes through overtime into penalty kicks. The Russian goalie made 2 saves. The best goalie in the world, Del Cappa, he plays for Real Madrid, who is also that's Barcelona's rival.
Correct.
In this World Cup, he faced 7 shots, 6 goals, 3 penalty kicks, 2 of them went in. He was not good. The best keeper in the world.
Allegedly.
We talked about Germany going down. I want to go back to that really quick because that is the way to describe that is almost like it's bigger in my eyes than a 16 beating a 1 in the NCAA tournament because Germany with their B teams won Euros, which is the best thing you can get to outside of the World Cup. I mean, like that's the other big tournament. It's played on one of the off years. The World Cup's played every 4 years. The Euros is also played once every 4 years. They're just staggered, opposite 4 or 2 years apart. We play in the Copa del Rey or whatever, the American one, the Americas. And the European teams play in the Euros. And the Euros, without question, have the harder teams because they have just been playing soccer for over 100 years each. And the Euros were won by Germany's B team 2 years ago. So nobody thought Germany, who won the World Cup last time, was just at least not going to advance. Even though the last 3 World Cup winners before them did not advance out of the group stage, this is, like I said, it's bigger than a 16 beating a 1 in the NCAA tournament, the way they lost to Japan and not advancing. I mean, that is...
It's horrible.
It is, yeah. It's embarrassing. Grown men were crying. That's how serious this was.
Soccer.
Speaking of best in the world, we talked about Spain losing to Russia with their goalkeeper. Messi and Ronaldo are talked about as the 2 best in the world. We talked about how both of them missed penalty kicks.
Yep. Terrible. Unacceptable.
Both of them lost in the round of 16. They both got to the round of 16, and neither of them scored in the round of 16, and their teams lost.
So they're eliminated.
Both of them advanced out of the first round, but neither made it out of the second round. So how do we decide who's the best in the world? I can't do it now.
Really, they're not the best in the world.
So basically,
they're not the best in the world. You can't be the best and then lose.
They both had really good runs, though. I don't care what anyone says.
Can't be the best and then lose.
They were LeBrons by themselves
without scoring.
Well, see, they did though. Ronaldo scored 3. He scored 4 overall. Messi scored a goal and had an assist, and his team only scored 3 times in the entire tournament.
That doesn't excuse it. You still only had 1 and an assist. That's horrible. You can't claim to be the best in the world.
His goal was insanely impressive, and the assist was ridiculously impressive. Well,
so, you can't be
Ronaldo had 2 very great goals.
That sounds a lot better. Yeah, Ronaldo sounds a lot better in that regard. Then, when it's on a grand stage,
Ronaldo's also only there to score. Messi's there to assist and score. He's there to do both.
Okay, you did 1-on-1, and Ronaldo had what?
3. No, he had 4 overall. He had 3 in one game.
Ooh, there it is. It's a lot more impressive.
Against a good team. Spain.
Well, then that's 1,000% more impressive.
Spain, I just talked about how Spain's goalkeeper is the best in the world and how bad of a World Cup he had. Ronaldo had 3 of those 7 goals against him. 3 of those 6 goals against him. You know what I'm saying?
You can't have 1-on-1 and expect me to be impressed by you.
I'm just saying.
You claim to be the best in the world. I'm just saying. What did you do, though? What did you do when it mattered? Nothing.
Yeah, neither of them.
And one had 1-on-1 and the other one had 3 goals. I'd rather take the 3 goals.
Ronaldo's never been out of the round of 16.
Then are you the best? No.
Messi went to the final last time and lost.
Sounds like you're a better player.
With a really bad.
Sounds like you're the best.
Really bad team.
Sounds like you're...
That's why he was deemed the best last 4 years going into this tournament.
Sounds like you're better then.
Also, Messi, they play their own rivals' teams in their club plays, and Messi defeats, not maybe head-to-head every time, but in the overall table, they at least tie one game, and they always, outside of 1 year in the last 4 years, they have finished ahead of Real Madrid.
Look, I understand this is soccer, and soccer is judged 1,000% differently than what I look at it as. I understand this is a once every 4 years event, but you can't. In my mindset, which is the mindset I claim in every sport, when you claim or when everybody claims you're the best or one of the best in the world, and you don't produce in the biggest time, then you are not who everybody says that you are, or you are not who you're supposed to be. In my opinion, I judge quote unquote the best when it's crunch time, when it's clutch time, and if you're not producing, then you are not who everybody says that you are. Or
so you're saying not give it to either.
Well, I would say Ronaldo will be better in that situation.
Yeah, okay.
Well, and at least this year, especially. And this year, I would say this year.
I think, let me put it to you this way. I think there's a little more gas in the tank for Ronaldo, if that makes a little more sense. You know what I mean? There's a little more fuel to burn for him, I think, in the sense of that might be the edge and if that's what separates them, that's what separates them.
Sure. And I'm not going to claim to be a soccer expert. Yeah. I never will. But like
you're
I
just
said,
saying based off of the info that I'm giving you.
Yeah, and I judge this on. When people say somebody's the best, it's the same thing I do about LeBron and the clutch factor. It's all about the clutch factor. What do you do when it matters most in the big games, in the big moments? And if you're not producing, then that says a lot about you, in my opinion.
Argentina also lost to a good team in France, and Portugal also lost to a good team in Uruguay. Uruguay and France will play next round. I do think France wins, but I'm going to root for Uruguay. It's going to be a good game, though, either way. Mm-hmm. Croatia beat Denmark on penalty kicks, so they're going to play Russia. Russia beating Spain is a big deal also because the tournament's in Russia. Mm-hmm. They obviously did not expect this. The second biggest upset in World Cup history. So, they shut down the city when they won. It was in Sochi, if I'm not mistaken, or Moscow, one of the two. They shut down the entire city when they won. It was insane. Excuse me, sorry. Croatia beat Denmark, like I said, on penalty kicks. Denmark's keeper made a couple of saves. Croatia's keeper made a couple of saves. It was super impressive with the penalty kicks from both of them. My boy Radic from Barcelona had the penalty kick to win it. Brazil beat Mexico 2-0 as of the day of this recording. That was expected. Mexico to get to the round 16. They didn't expect to get there. Brazil and another team that played today, Belgium. I think they're the two. Brazil, Croatia, and Belgium, to me, were the three best teams remaining. Belgium and Brazil will play next round because Belgium snuck out of a game today against Japan. They were down 2-0. Dwight, I went on lunch, and I'm rooting for Belgium as a side note because Lukaku is signed to Rock Nation, and there's only two soccer players signed to Rock Nation. So Lukaku plays for Belgium, so I'm rooting for them, but I do think they are one of the legitimate teams. I think Brazil's probably the best overall team. They just don't have as much defense as the other teams. But the way Belgium played today, Japan went up 2-0 when I was on break today. Belgium came back and won 3-2, but it was in the 94th minute when there was only 4 minutes of extra time. We actually watched the replay of it. Mm-hmm. It was embarrassing for Japan. It's the World Cup. It's been upside down. It's been on its head. That's Japan, though. Japan wasn't even expected to be up 2-0 in that game, and that was the most we're not prepared to be here moment of all time, yeah?
It was embarrassing. It was terrible.
They were crying afterwards.
Of course they were.
Grown men, but they played.
Of course they were crying.
It was their fault. It was number three's fault. So
they were crying. Number? Yeah. Of course they were crying afterwards, but that's embarrassing. That's terrible. They didn't deserve to be in that moment. They weren't prepared. They weren't ready.
So Belgium's going to play Brazil. That's going to be the best match of the tournament. Most hype match of the tournament. That's going to be in the round of 8. The winner of tomorrow's Sweden and Switzerland game and Colombia and England game, the winners of those teams will play. I do think it's going to be Sweden and England, but Switzerland has some players. I'm not going to lie. I picked Brazil before, so I'm still going to ride out with it. But again, I'm rooting for Denmark. My boy Lukaku. Mm-hmm. That's my World Cup roundup. We don't, as a show or as a nation, give enough credit to baseball, so I have to just throw some real fast, fun baseball stats in. Ready? Mike Trout, average.
Anytime we talk about baseball, it's one of two things: Phillies or Mike Trout.
Average. Home runs, walks, RBIs, doubles, if you go across the board, he is top 4 in all of those categories through his first 8 seasons. Historically. Like, not in the MLB. I'm talking historically. Add it up. Guys like Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., Pete Rose. Those are like the only 6 names, I think, involved in that. I mean, he is in the most rarefied air that we can even possibly dream of. And he just, it's not even week after, it's night after night, just continues to do it. I am, one of the best things I found is I just wake up in the morning and I just go look at Mike Trout's stat line from the night before because it's always impressive.
Says everything you need to know about Jared Hood. He wakes up in the morning, the first thing he does is look at what Mike Trout's doing.
Well, I already knew what the Phillies won or lost. Because I watch the game usually.
Wow. This man said, I just wake up and look and see what Mike Trout... Okay.
He's having...
That's kind of sad, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
A super incredible year. I also... So, speaking about Trout, always comes the Mike Trout, Bryce Harper conversation. Bryce Harper's in a contract year. He's hitting only like 213, but his home runs, he's at 14. Terrible. He's at 14, 15 home runs. I agree. The average is low. His on-base percentage is still above 300, so he's getting walked a lot at a really high rate, as he usually is. But yeah, I mean, look, in the clutch hitting for him was his biggest thing. He was always the biggest clutch hitter on his team without question. He hasn't had as many clutch hits this season as he's had in years past. Not as many opportunities, I will also give him that, but the opportunities he has had, he has not taken advantage of, I would say. It's a contract year, and I'm not saying it's getting to him, but you could see you can see it in his numbers. It's just this is the worst offensive year of his career.
So he doesn't deserve a big contract then.
I mean,
this is the year.
They were talking $200 million for him at one point. I don't see that happening either. I didn't see that happening when they talked about that.
Nah.
But definitely batting 212 this year. No, he's gonna have to get that above 250 at this point.
I could bat 212.
He's gonna have to get it above 250.
A lot more than that, but yeah.
He's gonna have to get it above 250 to get like the $170 million contract. Yeah.
Can you hit 3, bro? Well, he's not at this point.
He almost did a couple years, and like he's always been around 270 to 290, and that's exactly what that's fantastic. That's you would like above that, of course, but like and Mike Trout, look, you're talking 300 hitter there, and that's the difference that we're looking at. But Mike Trout also doesn't always hit the same amount of home runs. Now this year, Mike Trout is hitting the same amount of home runs and a much higher average.
But he's getting on base, so
walking as well at the same rate as
right.
Yeah, I mean absolutely.
That's far more impressive to me. Like, all right, you got a couple more home runs, but you're not getting on base as much, so the potential of scoring is still lower. So,
not as many RBIs either.
Right. So, no,
that's what Bryce Harper is there for. And look, you talked about it, the Phillies. When we talk baseball, the Phillies are only a couple games out of first place right now, and everyone thought the Mets and the Nationals were going to run away with this division, and it's the Braves, the Phillies, then the Nationals right now in this division, and the Mets are almost falling out of it at this point, halfway through the season. Nobody would have thought that this was the way the lineup was going to go. Not saying the Nationals won't springboard back to the top, but clear-cut difference in Bryce Harper's numbers, they're not winning as many games. I mean, that's just, you can see it. Teams that are interested in him next year, the Phillies, clearly. But the Yankees, realistically, the Dodgers, also realistically. Cubs.
The usual suspects.
Obviously, the Red Sox.
Sounds like baseball.
Yep. Shout out to a Philly pitcher who will win Pitcher of the Month in June, Zach Eflin. He went.
This man said, shout out to a pitcher that's going to win Pitcher of the Month. Okay.
Ready for this?
I'm glad we're announcing
the Phillies were on a
Players of the Month now.
The Phillies were on
I'm glad we were at a point in JD Sports' history where we're announcing Players of the Month.
3 times in June, the Phillies were on a 3-game or more losing streak. Zach Eflin came in. He was 3-0 in those games.
I can't wait till we talk about the Players of the Month in the NBA.
He went 6-0 in the month of June. All 6 wins were against first or second place teams in their respective division. The Nationals and the Yankees being the last 2.
Shout out to the player of the month. First time in the history of JD Sports we're shouting out player of the month, and of course it's a Phillies player.
I said the World Cup was drunk and needs to go home. The AL
drunk and needs to go home.
The AL is also very fun right now in baseball. Houston, Yankees, Red Sox.
Or drunk and you go home. Where are you going out with that? You didn't finish that sentence.
They're all in wild competition. First in the AL.
So baseball. Got it.
The Indians aren't as good as I thought they were going to be, but they're still leading their division. But they're the least amount of wins for a division leader right now, halfway through the season.
Shout to the player of the month.
Dwight is done with the baseball conversation.
Can't believe he did that.
Dwight?
Yeah. You're not about to ignore the fact that what's his name retired in the NFL.
Cam Chancellor.
Yep. Who just so happened to pick the wrong day to do that because LeBron was like, oh, by the way.
That's why I was about to ignore it.
That's why I said you're not going to, because I know you were about to.
Cam Chancellor did retire in the NFL. The Seahawks. Earl Thomas, not sure what he wants to do.
Wants to be a Cowboy.
Cam Chancellor just retired.
Sherman's out.
Sherman's out.
Well, was out. I forget. I can't even name him. But
Bobby Wagner? Is
Yep.
he still there?
I don't remember.
But
Like
either
3
way,
of them are out.
Legion of Boom.
And
gone.
now the 4th
Done.
one, he's gone. Oh yeah. I mean, it's been gone, but that was literally. I'm pretty sure he was literally the final piece of that, and now he's saying he's retired. So.
Yeah, the 3 biggest pieces. There's one left, and he's claimed he wanted to be a Cowboy multiple times.
Yep.
So that's where we're at on the Seahawks defense.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Bennett, not there. Not Legion of Boom, but he was a big part of that defense.
Sure.
Defensive line.
Yeah.
He was the anchor of that defensive line.
Oh, definitely.
He had some freaky stats. I didn't realize how good he was there those last 3 years.
Yeah, I'm still about him, but yeah, I mean, I hear you. I think he's overrated, but he's
I mean, look, the Eagles' defensive line is so stacked that I think he's just going to fit in because the Eagles' defensive line is already so stacked. Like, I don't know if he's going to put those numbers up that he put up with the Seahawks, but but I do think he's going to fit in because, well, just about anybody with good talent is going to fit on that defensive line right now. Bo Allen got a huge contract out of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people were able to look like they made bigger differences, maybe because just of how good that defensive line is overall. Anyways, point being is Seahawks defense dismantled.
R.I.P. Legion of Boom. R.I.P. Russell Wilson's career. R.I.P. Seahawks. R.I.P. 12th man. R.I.P.
They're like the Warriors fans, right? They just kind of appeared one day and then now they're all gone.
Literally.
And that's what's going to happen with the Warriors, I assume,
At some point, yeah. 1,000%.
So that's my point.
Mm-hmm. 1,000,000% that's what's going to happen. I can't see. They're literally, I'm just going to call them Lopez fans. Literally, we're just going to follow individuals instead of teams. I never understood that.
Turn the page.
I don't understand that. I never understood that, man. And that seems to be the new thing. I don't know. To me, it seems like it's a new thing, relatively speaking. But
yeah, no, I hear you. People follow.
They follow players. I just don't get that. Like, support a team and stick with it. Like, yeah, I root for certain players, and
so do I. But I got my teams. You have your teams.
Right, and I more so put that precedent
over
individual
absolutely.
players. Like
that's why I want to go watch LeBron in Washington, not Philly, because I want to root for him.
Right, but
that's the exact point, though. Yes.
Right, yeah, 1,000%. But I just never understood these dudes and females that they're like, yeah, I'm a man, yeah, LeBron. Okay, he's going here, he's going there. Okay, this player, he's going here, he's going there. Yeah, I'm following that. Like, would you just pick something and stick with it? Like, the fuck. I just never understood it. And to me, it's weak and whatever. This is why we're the petty show.
Well, Dwight, that's all I got for this week.
Is that all we got for this year, or are we going to keep going? I guess we got to keep going a little bit, don't we?
Just a little bit, not much longer. Might not be next week, but in the near future, will you will at least hear from Dwight and myself, even if it's not JD Sports. This was a long but very good show. Dwight.
What time at Alabama, LA? I will have some type of LA theme. It won't be wrestling related. It's obviously going to be like a Tupac song or something.
Throw it up, throw it up, throw it up.
You're a Phillies fan, knock it off.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the point.
No,
Like,
no,
throw it
no,
up, throw
no,
it up, throw it up.
No.
You said it's going to be an LA thing, so I had to throw it.
It is going to be a LA thing. Right? Don't jump on now. Don't jump on because you're a LeBron fan. Stay in the East Coast, bruh. Keep your ass in the East Coast. Don't be starting to root for the Lakers because LeBron's over there now.
I always
Don't-
root
stop
for
it.
LeBron to go
Stop it.
far as long as
Stop
it's
it.
not going to impede the Sixers.
it.
So it's going to be the same thing until they play each other in the finals. Yeah, I'm going to root for LeBron. That means rooting for the Lakers. We have one entity right now. We are both happy about the purple and gold.
He's exactly what we were just bitching about.
I'm not a Lakers fan. Just rooting for LeBron. Lakers going to do well.
Gotcha, Lopez.
I'm the bigger Sixers fan. And again, I'm going to root for the Sixers over the Lakers.
All right, Lopez Jr.
Till next time.